How would you feel if there was a reality show where flat earthers have to find the edge of the world? It would fit perfectly in line with those reality TV History Channel shows where they treat everything they find like it's some big revelation, but in the end it's never anything of substance, ever. I found a nail over here. Narrator's voiceover: could it be from a 16th century Spanish galleon? Or the True Cross? Next on the Curse of Oak Island. So, world tour of hiking, swimming, and all expenses paid? Suddenly things are looking flat. Yeah, suddenly I find myself to be a little suspicious of all this science shit. Yeah, like what's up with that curve that they talk about Lamau? I think the edge is in Alaska somewhere around Denali, but it only shows up in the summer when the sun aligns with the earth so that it's nice and warm. We'd better go there and wait for it. Yeah. For sure. It would honestly be really entertaining to see some of these folks try and plan such a trip. It would probably turn into a survival show in 2 episodes. It seems so easy to prove it is flat. If it actually were. Watch Behind the Curve on Netflix. It's hilarious watching them prove the earth is round over and over again, then argue their own logic. Is that the one where they bought the $20,000 gyroscope and explained perfectly the science behind what it would tell them if the world were actually round? Amused conspiratorial chuckles, and then when it showed exactly that result, they went into a proper scientific method. Our results aren't coming out as expected, let's try and eliminate sources of error, only for nothing they did to eliminate the error. My favorite was when they had 2 poles, one with a light on it at, I think, 17 feet high, and they said if they shined the light through a hole it would be able to be seen at 17 feet at the other pole if the earth was flat, or 22 feet if the earth was round. They do the experiment, and the guy at the receiving end is standing at 17 feet saying, "Are you shining the light? I can't see it." He then climbs up until he sees it, and wouldn't you know it, he was at 22 feet. The silence that ensued was hilarious. It really was the best way to end that documentary. Bet it would end on a cliffhanger. This pun is so edgy. Looks like your joke fell flat. We keep going around and around with these pun threads, don't we? Not always, sometimes Teresa curveball. This comment is a swing and a miss. Really misses the gravity of the situation. The content of this thread is abysmal. Would be hilarious to make it like The Amazing Race, where the first team to find the edge of the world wins a large cash prize, and we can all watch them scrambling around with their conspiracy maps trying to travel to obscure parts of the world and see their priceless reaction when they realize they were wrong. Absolutely fantastic. It would go on for years. Each episode their crushing despair would go on and it would be marvelous. Or on the other hand, we could make it a race around the world, and so to get the money they have to admit they went around it and that the earth is round. Behind the Curve was a great documentary about flat earthers trying to seek out the scientific proof that the earth is flat. There's all this build up to the moment when they're doing this experiment with a laser gyroscope that they believed would reveal that the earth was flat, and their result proved the opposite, revealing more evidence for the earth's curvature. It was a priceless moment. That's my issue with this idea though. From what I've heard, I haven't actually watched it, they still didn't back down. Even after the experiment they thought the earth was flat. Clearly the experiment went wrong or something. I don't think evidence can change these people's minds, unfortunately. If it could, they wouldn't be flat earthers in the first place. In general, they are just a bit sad, lonely people who are alienated and are trying to hold it together by believing this thing that only they know the truth of so they can feel better about themselves. That sounds a bit harsh and generalizing, and I am sure there are nuances, but this is also what the documentary shows. I'm not sure reality show is quite the right description. Perhaps they'll discover reality on their journey. No, unfortunately they won't. Even when reality is staring them in the face, they'll claim that the whole thing was a setup from the start, or that all their efforts to reach the edge have been sabotaged by big something or other. These people are so far beyond being able to recognize reality. Yeah, they would certainly claim that they were in a simulation for the entire duration of the filming or something. Flat earthers annoy me so much. They use our scientific words for which we already have definitions, and they change them to suit their needs. Why don't they make up their own scientific words? Buoyancy is the word that gets me the most probably. The way they use that word is ridiculous, because no flat earthers agree with each other. That particular word finds a lot of different meanings. Wait, how can you screw up buoyancy? Things floating due to density differences. What on flat Earth is so hard about that? Call it the Magellan Challenge. I'd watch it. The issue would be that most of them think the North Pole is the center of the world, and that the Earth opens up, flattens as you go south, with Antarctica basically being the circular edge. So to find the edge, they'd have to take a journey to Antarctica and hike to its center plus past that, which would be costly and risky as duck, not only to the participants but the crew. And then, even if they survived central Antarctica and made it to the opposite shore, they'd just claim that they got turned around or something. So nothing would change. I feel like the plot would just go round and round. Oh my god, duck these how would you feel questions. How would you feel if insert something to appease people on an issue that is overwhelmingly one-sided? I would happily support this if they are shown to be complete idiots and are ridiculed every step of the way. Otherwise you create more flat earthers with this promotional idea. I want a David Attenborough voiceover, or I don't want it at all. Most if not all flat earthers are also anti-vaxxers. I frankly wouldn't want them to travel and spread diseases all over the planet. I'd rather just put them all on a deserted island and forget they exist. Not if the edge of the Earth is in Antarctica. They believe it's the South Pole, so they should just get sent there with no compasses to prove themselves wrong. This could potentially be the longest running show ever. This would very, very quickly devolve into conspiracies against the production company and the people operating the boat, or the equipment being sabotaged, unfortunately. In theory it'd be awesome, in practice they'd almost immediately come up with 50 excuses and no minds would be changed. Anticlimactic. It'd get boring after season 5653 though. We would end up watching a show about desperate, performative, trolls from China, or Russia, and very few, but possibly entertaining Americans, Europeans that really fell for it. Honestly, not good. This is a classic don't feed the troll. They will scream false news, and all you do is give another platform for others to agree with them. Quick push them off before they tell anyone. I find it hilarious, but let's please not give the people who deny reality a microphone, THNX. Amused. Reminds me of Whale Wars. Basically watching them fail season after season. You underestimate the power of conspiracy theory to explain everything that doesn't fit with the conspiracy away. Flying. The plane is turning imperceptibly to fool the contestants. Sailing. Same deal, and/or natural currents are naturally and predictably, carrying the ship away from the edge. On land with a compass? The magnetic pole shifts its position unpredictably and/or the compass is manipulated. You can't convince fanatics with facts and observation. That's what fanaticism means. The Earth is not flat and I can prove it. If it was Trump would have insisted on having a hotel there and encouraged people to go. There would be way too much money involved to not do something like that. I'd actually watch that. You son of a bitch, I'm in. Sounds edgy, I'd flat out watch that. We need to stop legitimizing stupid people and start shaming them. The last few years have proven that it's a very bad idea to give stupid people a platform or let them organize. You give an idiot any wriggle room to believe their own bullshit and they will run home with the ball. Stop being proud of being dumb. Stop supporting and legitimizing dumb people. It's like feeding wild dogs, it will only end badly. Do it. It wouldn't work. They have an explanation. When you approach the ice wall at the edge of the Earth you magically get teleported back further inland. Seriously. Every single time you catch them in one of their logical absurdities, each time they invent an explanation even stupider than the last. It's like trying to debate creationists and QAnon people, you just keep going in circles as they flatly deny every piece of evidence staring them in the face.